Good evening, everyone. It is March 3rd, 2023, post FOMC. In case it's not obvious by the huge amount of volatility showing up on your charts. Now, what I was looking for today was some sort of correction overnight inventory, and then seeing this thing sell off around weekly VWAP, and that's what we had. We for the most part, I think ES got a little bit shy of weekly VWAP. We hit that little pivot zone instead and sold off. NQ did hit weekly VWAP and then sold off. Uh, as far as FOMC, we did try and test the highs. ES came nowhere close to yesterday's high of the day. That gap remains open, that RTH gap up to 85 or 84, whatever it is. On the NQ, we managed to get up to yesterday's high of the day. I think we pretty much tagged it to the tick or something like that, maybe a few ticks off. Today's high of the day, 13 quarter. Yesterday's high, yeah, 14. So 3 ticks off, uh, and then falling down into yesterday's lows during the RTH and kind of holding that area. ES similarly holding yesterday's lows, putting in a low of the day, just a couple ticks lower than whatever it is, Tuesday's low. Now, as you can see, Globex has had quite the move down. We gapped down on both tickers quite a bit. Uh, we had heavy deltas on the week on ES, especially quite heavy, very heavy. Whereas on NQ it's been more mild, and we can see that with NQ holding that pivot zone. Tomorrow morning we do have unemployment at 8:30, and we do have Apple earnings after hours. That's what everyone's going to be waiting for. So, in general, I'm going to expect some sort of volatility in the morning, and then I think this thing's going to quiet down quite a bit in the afternoon as we await big earnings. Apple being just such a major component of these indices. Now, something to note. The ES, of course, coming into pretty much last week's low. We're hitting that 95% weekly value area low from last week at 76.5. On the NQ, in the meantime, we just got down to like last week's point of control. Last week's VWAP closed at 13,055. So, in general, the NQ to me is the one that's sort of leading the way here. Just not looking very bearish, holding just a very neutral number. That VWAP close, that weekly point of control, just a little bit. I think it's a little bit lower than that. I think it's sitting at, what is that? 13,050, 49 quarter. Yeah. Weekly value area low is, I don't know, somewhere around there. Halfback is even the halfback isn't that much further from there. So in general, the NQ to me is just looking overall more bid, and ES is looking overall more heavy, which is a little bit in contrast to what we saw during April. So far, an expansion in volatility, and looks like we'll be getting some expansion in ranges relative to April. So this is already, I think, 5 minutes. Oh, 3 minutes. Nice. Now, how am I looking to trade this? Let's go into the ES for a second. That 32 half number was so major all day. That being our quarterly open, also roughly our weekly halfback, monthly halfback, our weekly VWAP close, and now it is today's RTH value area low, right around 33. So what am I looking for? Well, I think we will have a seller showing up there. It is an obvious spot, and I will be playing it even though it is obvious. Might get stopped in the process, but it is what it is. We closed so far below VWAP. We closed 3 standard deviations below VWAP, and thus not an entirely unsurprising gap down and move down another, whatever that is, 30 points lower relative to the close and low of the day. So I'll be taking 32 short, and I think we have another shot right around that 41.55 up above there, and I won't be trading this thing. I think you can get into a situation where it just keeps floating on upwards. Maybe 84 3/4 sells that gap close, as well as where some daily 95%, 95, 91, and 87% value area lows are. Also, just a key level from that Monday churny, and now what we know to be a distributive session. So I'll be looking to short 55, short 32 halves. If we gap down, I'll be looking to short 07 half. This number here, this where did we initially grab the bid? 09. We also had some nice bids on the other day on Tuesday. Yeah, look at this, just repeatedly at 09, 010, whatever it is. Eventually, we got into my 4107 level where we have now closed on that 4 p.m. close. So if we gap down, we'll have lost both yesterday's low, obviously, but also settlement lows, and will be below what seems to be such a critical number, this 4105 to 10 sort of area, that critical 5 point range. So I will be looking to short that if we get a gap down. Now, instead, if we tag today's low of the day at 4105, I'll be looking to get long at 08 half. That is just our 95% daily value area low from today's session. I think it'll show us that there is evidence of buying, and I think we can take it long and get that reversion back up towards 32. And I want to actually write something here. I want to see it before a tag of 32.50. I think that's going to be critical. Seeing it before a tag of that 32 half number. Further downwards, I am interested in taking 97.5 long after seeing a bid show up at the monthly 95% value area low from last month at 94.75. So if we get a bid right here, we've actually caught a bid numerous times during the overnight now. If we catch a bid there, I will be taking 97s long, just taking that low of the day from, what is that, April 27th, taking that for a long. Below there, 76 half, exact area that I wanted to get long, of course, gets hit during the overnight. I want to be long there as well after a run of the overnight low, that being our weekly value area low. Below there, and I think I'm not going to be too interested in this thing either. Perhaps 54 quarter. I have to think about these. It depends where we open. If we open towards the lows, I think we can get some nice long opportunities somewhere here. But if we open far up above, fail this 32 number, I don't want to be playing this thing below 76s. So that's how I'm looking at the ES. Over on the NQ, again, looking more bullish. I want to be long this VWAP close, the weekly VWAP close at 13,055 after a run of the overnight low. This is the same number I had, just like 76 half. This is the number that I had. Above there, much like how I want to be long 08s on ES, I want to be long 110 quarter after a tag of today's low of the day, or sorry, 105, 110. Hold on here. Yes, after a tag of 92 half, my bad. I want to be long after a tag of today's low of the day. Instead of getting long off that 95% daily value area low at 110s, instead I'll be getting long off of the settlement lows sitting at 110 quarter. I think we have a nice buffer. There's been that level that's been key for about a month. Those Q1 value area high extensions are right around 105, and also the monthly VWAP close right around 105. So getting long 110s again for that move up, and perhaps I should also have this here that this I want to see before a tag of 188. Before 188 tag. So something like that. Make sure I have that on my other screen. Above there, I want to be short 188. It's just a key level. It was a nice kind of pivot back and forth on Tuesday's RTH session. And then, of course, it caught our low of the day right off the open. Held the bid a couple more times. Held it during FOMC. Kind of wicked around there. And then was key resistance, just like that 32 half number on the ES. Similarly, 265, just like 55s on the ES. Above there, 89 3/4. I think this is sort of our last chance to get a short in. Similar sort of vibe to that 84 3/4 number on the ES. Above there, not interested in it. So that's how I'm looking to play the NQ. Below 055, I will be interested in taking 970. That was an extremely critical level all of last week. Offered multiple times there during that overnight session, eventually caught the bid and ramped, but you can see it was a great level, that 970 spot, so I will be looking to take that long. I think it also hit it on the, yeah, there we go, the Monday session. I think I might have been long here. So that's how I'm looking for it. Now we've hit 10 minutes for the video. Long 970, long 55s after one of the overnight low, long 110s after a tag of 98, I think that is. Oh, geez, 92 half. Not sure why it showed up like that before 92.50 tag, or sorry, after 92.50 tag. Oh man, my brain is everywhere. Looking to be short at 188, short 265, short 289s, and on the ES looking to be long 76 half after that overnight low run, long 97s after that 94 3/4 tag, short if we gap down, long 08s if we get a tag of 05, short 32s, short 55s, not interested above that. Hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. This is starting to look like a ridiculous Globex session. We're already ramping up. What is this on the ES? About 40 points. Yep, 38 3/4 points. Europe is yet to open. I wouldn't be too surprised if they reversed a lot of this, just taking out the covering and just slamming it down. Hope that helps. Hope that makes sense. There will definitely be an update to this pre-market tomorrow. Have a great night and trade safe.